Running a script, playing the game, and this is why it's important to organizing and getting to the point and where we want to be in our prospective households, communities, states, regions, and the national society at large, right? And I'm having this conversation because I made some comments about the issue that went down in DC the other day with the actual mayoral candidates forum. And a lot of people have responded in saying, well, that's the game. That's part of the game. Or running the, man versus woman, that's part of the game. And what I want to say and have a conversation about is we have to understand what the game is. The game is a script, right? And you can play the game, but I really need people to understand what the residuals of playing a game is. Everybody is familiar with Monopoly, right? And everybody understands that Monopoly is a highly competitive game, but the ultimate goal is to bankrupt everybody to win, right? I want to frame it that way because I think people understand that there are layers to the actual game itself. So a lot of people have responded, well, politics is a contact sport, which I agree with 100%. Politics is rough, which I agree with 100%. Politics is amoral, which I agree with 100%. All of those things are true, and all of those things will probably be true in the coming years. But what a person has to ask themselves is, what is the cost for having an incentive structure built like that? What do I mean? So you have right now our current president who everybody is up in arms about, right? The reason why I have conversations around him the way that I do is because he is the script. He is like Agent Smith in the Matrix. You have to understand that when you play the game, you become like Agent Smith, but also understand that everybody in this said game is running said script. So he is not deviating. The only deviance that has occurred thus far is the fact that it is running script with no code, with no jargon, with nothing to hide what is being done. That is the only deviation away from the actual script that has taken place. And when I say script, I'm talking about the game, right? But now, if you bring it down to our level, on a community level, on a Black people level, we have organizations, NGOs, nonprofits, and I'm gonna use models for examples, right? So let's look at um community development, or let's take balance interruption because that's a new model, right? On its face, it is a righteous, it has integrity, it has all of the makings to do said right thing. Now, for us, for a person and for people who are engaging in these institutions, whether it be workforce development, etc., there has to be an issue for you to take advantage of to get the funding to actually be able to distribute the service, correct? That is not bad in itself, but you have to understand that you are part of the script. You are playing the game, right? That's how the game is played. But you have to understand, for every game at level 1, there's a game at level 2, right? And as you progress through every game, it gets a little harder. And when you are playing said game, every outcome is accounted for because the game is written. It is written. Understanding when you're saying that, you are saying that you are engaging in something that is written. Therefore it is understood. And to go off the script is to mean that the the coders or the makers of said game will come in and put a patch in. And what I mean by patch is, take for example education, right? You have the Black community, who has been largely kept out of a lot of industries. But when we had equal access or was given equal access to education, it boomed. We were taking advantage of the opportunity and the door that was open for us. But the creators of the game said, hold on, they are going off script. We have to put a patch in here. So now we have the debt that has been associated with student with degrees and student loans. We have education at large. We have the time and consumption that goes into the degrees in themselves. And then we now see an environment where degrees have been positioned to not be as valuable because of the oversaturation of said education, right? And I'm not saying anybody who is getting a degree is a problem or has a problem, but you have to understand how things have been patched and how things are hijacked and how you can be hijacked and co-opted and turned into an Agent Smith because you insist on playing a game that you don't see all of the levels to. And not only do you not see all of the levels horizontally, because you go from level 1 to level 50, like if you're playing a regular Sonic game, right? But then if you up that game and you add levels of complexity to that game, you have different games where each character has its own storyline. And here in America, you can associate those storylines with those characters, whether it be ethnic, whether it be racial, whether it be gender. All of these things have been eyesed to create different storylines, outcomes, and different games and different abilities within said game that you get to utilize, right? Now, play the game because everybody tells me, oh, well, you got to understand. I understand the game. What I'm saying though is we can't, us, say that we're mad at the right, the conservatives, the elites, etc., because the game that we play feeds back into their overall game. Remember what I said in the beginning? On Monopoly, the goal is to bankrupt everybody. The sharks and the titans who sit as the juggernauts of industry, they're fighting each other, right? And the games that we play, so going back to that violence interruption service, right? Those dollars come from the states, those dollars can come from donations made by corporations, etc. And those things are not inherently bad within themselves. But because we are stacking this game on top of a perverse incentive structure that creates sociopathy and psychopathy, you then have people who will say, you know what? I'm going to come in and I'm going to hijack something that may have potentially been good to make myself look good so that I can gain more, so that I can have more access, so that I can then hold on, because now I'm at level 3. I'm taking this from level 1 and I'm playing with level 3 because I'm going to take this and all these taxations and tax codes and businesses that basically prey on poverty. So when we talk about how you get your tax bill, or no, I'm not even gonna go to tax bill. Let's go to insurance, right? Your zip code your zip code is going to make you pay more because they have software, they have devices, they have research and data that shows them what you have a higher propensity to do because they can see the map out and the layout within your particular neighborhood and community and what those things are associated with. So whether that's liquor stores, churches, etc. And again, inherently churches aren't bad, right? But for a person who's observing the community, you have a higher propensity to lean on faith, lean into uh gambling because the the neurological structure that you've created is more so looking to something outward, not inward. That's what that's about, right? And that's how they see that at level 3, level 4. That's how they're engaging with that information. And again, it's not inherently bad because a lot of people will be like, oh, well, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's not bad. That's not bad. Because you all aren't understanding how these different levels and character lines are engaging with each other simultaneously at all times. So now you take the violence interrupter, right? He's doing everything that he does in the community to make the community better, right? Eventually, either two things are going to happen. He's going to work himself out of a job, but working himself out of a job is against the script. So for level 4, level 3, I'm going to have to do things to the environment, create different stressors to reproduce that outcome so that I can have that model, so that I can, again, be philanthropic to clean my money, my image. I manipulate the environment. Yes, you have a job, and I'm not against, and again, this is not being against anybody. This is not being against any particular person. This is understanding. This is comprehension. This is awareness. You have to understand that you can't complain because, and I'm going to take it back to our president, our current president, right? Everybody in media, when he lost his first term, played the game. And what game am I talking about? The bottom line, right? So for media, clicks and views is everything. Engagement is everything. So everybody understands that DJT is a click magnet. So what do? They run everything through this man. Why are we talking about him? I know why, because it's the game. It's the game and people are playing it. But guess what the game did? The game has the outcomes and the residuals and the blowback and the cost of us having him as president now because you all gave him free publicity. You all opened the door for him to resurrect himself. You all gave him the wind beneath his wings by chasing a bottom line, by chasing and playing a game that you do not understand. Because the editors and the way that they are, again, instructed, because it's not them, they have higher ups. I'm not blaming them. But what I need people to do is understand and take accountability. So when you tell me play the game, you need to understand the game that you are playing, but that is also playing you. Because now you all have been thrown to the winds. And that is also a part of the game. Because if we take and extrapolate monopoly and bankrupting everybody, because that's what we are in, hyper rugged individual capitalism, people are surprised. Oh my God, we're in a fascist state. Oh my God, we're in this state where people are becoming lords and serfs. And when I said people were going to be serfs again and the internet was going to serve as the place of refuge, everybody, oh my God, you're crazy. You're crazy. No, it's predictable because we've seen it and humans have been playing the same game. And for those who would like to say to me, well, I've been doing this for 50 years. You've been doing it for 50, 60 years, and yet we're still here because you're playing a game that you don't. Either you understand it and you don't care, or you don't really understand it. You don't understand the complexities of said game because everybody loves to talk about where we are now, but nobody wants to talk about how we got here and how we continue to do the very same things that are continuing us down the same line. Another game, right? Everybody will say, "Oh, well, Devon, you can't just be all, against the NFL and stuff, that's kind of whack. Like you gotta let that go." But then on Monday, Tuesday, y'all crying to me about Robert Kraft. But the Patriots were in the Super Bowl. You just gave all of your money, your views, your energy to a product that they own. That money then goes to other avenues and other channels that they have opened for themselves to do said things. But what does it look like to not play the game? pulling back. You don't have to completely remove yourself. Actually, if I were to see a politician actually be serious about antitrust with all of these corporations coming together, if I saw politicians, politicos, and activists actually talking about Citizens United and the urgency for repeal of Citizens United, because none of this is going to change if we allow dollars to be voice, because we don't have as many dollars as the top 10%. Because the game that we're playing, they're eating off of that game too. While you're running, they're using the energy you're using to harness and pull it to level 4. You're here. I understand the game. I get it. And again, I'm not here to hate on anybody or any one or particular person, but I need people to understand that when you say that to me, I understand the game. I really do. I just don't want to keep playing it because I have realized that it is the game that is extracting, is destroying us at its core. People want to say, oh, yeah, let's run a man versus woman campaign. Why would we not do that? Well, have you all not seen the destruction of our community and another line? We've already had classism, we've already had colorism, and then you all have added another line of division in genderism and ageism. And yet you all wonder and ask, well, how are we going to build? How are we going to do this? And you take pride in not being a monolith, but understand that the top 10% and the top 1%, it moves in a monolithic way, except when it comes to them. And even then, they understand that, you know what? I'm not going to fight. You go ahead, live in your kingdom. I'm gonna live in my kingdom. What they got on Adventure Time? Princess Bubblegum, Ice King. Look, y'all stay over there. Y'all stay over here. Y'all stay over there. The Fire Queen. Y'all, everybody stay in their kingdom. Look, we don't want no people. We don't want no problems. But what is happening now is all of these things are coming to a head because the game has brought us here. Enough people do not read history or they misunderstand history because people will also say to me, well, history repeats itself. No, history does not. History is a passive concept. And what I mean by passive concept is history means nothing without the instruction, the behavior, and the inputs of mankind and the perception, which is why we have terms like retrospect, hindsight, because you can't see history until it happened. But what I do know is that the game and the way it has been played, the stage that has been set, is a stage that is before America, which is why America is moving in the way that it is because it is predominated to do that. It has to do that. You think these nations who are going out here just going wreaking havoc and y'all out here crying all of these tears because yes, they are wrong, but you must understand that they have to apply pressure. You want to know why? Because the incentive structure in the game is set up that way. It's why I don't understand why y'all cry about one thing, but yet you want to play the game. You want to cry about these dudes overseas tearing up the global south, yet you want to play a game that feeds right into everything that they do. Because they at level 6, 7. Because leaders of nations and those who are behind and finance nations are a whole different ballgame. But I stop at the titans, the leaders of industry, those who sit on the NASDAQ and the SP 500, those who literally are catering to shareholders. And that caterance to shareholders means that I have to forego the human elements. And you all sit and you wonder why we are here. Because we are playing a game and the game has led us to monetize just the very things that are left, which is our mind, body, and spirit, our every piece of human existence. And you wonder why everything is transactional because it is the game. It is where the game has led us. I understand it. It's just that the game is going to lead us off a cliff. We won't have nothing, us at all, if we continue down this path. What, for 10 to 15 years? You're running on script. And even in the Matrix, the Oracle was part of the script. A lot of y'all are Agent Smiths and don't understand that you are Agent Smiths because it's not about intention. It's not about where your heart is. It's about outcomes. It's about costs. And the things that you do, even in good intentions, have great costs. Again, must I talk about the past? Every man who sold drugs to take care of their family, to do what something was so righteous, duty, honor, respect. I don't have nothing against that, but there was a cost to that gain. And the cost was the community at large, even some of their families. Come on. I need us to get that. I need us to be here with that. Because y'all allow yourselves to be co-opted because people think it's a part of the game. I get it. And that's why I don't really get into it with people. It's a game. You know what? You're right. Play the game. It's why I deliver my content the way that I do. It's why I talk about issues the way that I do. It's why I approach the discussions the way that I do. Because people are going to do ultimately what they want to do until they realize, oh crap, I played myself. We all get there. When you see the rich people, the wealthy people who y'all see and they delete button, and you like, oh, well, why did they do that? I would have never did that. Because they played the game. See, how you get to the destination is also important. Just getting to the destination, having to run on nails, having to jump through the fire, jump through the hurdles, let somebody booty blast you and all of that, erodes you. And I talked about this in my other video. It erodes you. And what you have to understand is there is a cost to that because you cannot forget that. It is why people are dealing with high levels of addictive behavior, whether it be in how we consume, whether it be in drugs and alcohol, and whether it be in how we are using the SEX, bumping the uglies. It displays it differently in different people, but it is a result of the same thing. It's all at the core. Playing the game, the script. I make my script 30 seconds. So now everybody's wondering why the kids can't read past 2 minutes or they can't focus past 2 minutes or why we got an ADHD epidemic because everybody is being raised on 2 minute clips. You doom scrolling. And there's research and development that shows us and tells us what it does to the human brain and the psychology. For the life of me, I do not understand why people insist on saying that to me. But you don't even want to have a 2 hour. I can have a 3 hour conversation. Easy. Easy. And it not even revolve in circles. And people will be like, well, Devon, it is in circles. No, you just don't understand that what is happening is that all of these things are interfacing at one time. And for those who will also say, again, one of the games, we're not going to fix this issue because we're going to campaign on this issue. What you don't understand is the cost to that is the issue that is today. And I'll use an example. If you are in your household, right, and let's say a pipe burst, if you don't fix that because you want to campaign or complain about that or sell it to people, over the course of a week or however much time goes, now you're dealing with, because you let that pipe stay burst, you're dealing with structural damage, you're dealing with property damage, you're dealing with whole other sets of issues. So the time that elapses has now thus created 5 issues from the one issue because you wanted to play the game. And now the solutions are different because people are like, what are your solutions? Well, I can't really organize any solution because we're not even a monolith. We don't move on one ideological block. Everybody wants to have all of these different competing ideologies. And that's not how power works, especially when you don't have the resources. We must be a monolith. The only thing we have is monolithic behavior. And no, I'm not saying everybody has to have the same experiences and skill sets, but we all have to have the same goal and we all have to agree to get there in the same way. Because if you put two steering wheels in the car, it's the reason there's only one, and it's because we both can't drive at the same time. So we either got to agree on how to get there and be in lockstep, or you got to have drivers. But please continue to play the game, continue, and I will continue. If anybody can help me, I want to make a satirical like movie or some sort, just mocking everybody because everybody, oh, we got to do this, they got to do that. Okay, 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 I hear you. I hear you. Let's see how them level threes and fours, because y'all want to be mad at them, which again, you can be, you should be, but understand how you're helping them though, unknowingly. That's all I'm saying. But per usual, what do I know?